Here's what's coming up on today's show. We've got the Chase Claypool trade, if that's going to happen for the Chicago Bears. Multiple NFL injury updates on the more notable players, and 5 big takeaways from Week 4, some of which are not exactly the most positive ones. Let's begin with Chase Claypool out in Chicago. The Bears, in kind of a indication of how much of a cluster the organization is right now. I was trying to find the right word and not be too mean. I'll go with cluster. The Bears had said they, let it up to Claypool. You want to stay and go home or not? Whatever. And then they clarified, actually, no, we told him to stay home. Type of deal. It has been a mess of a situation. They've gone back and forth on what's really going on with Claypool. I think finally, intentional or not, Matt Eberflus has given the inside info there. But Claypool's been a disaster trade for Chicago. The number 32 overall pick they gave up for him, and the end result has been very minimal play. And now he's being told, you know what, don't come to the building. We're going to try to trade you. They allegedly want a 5th or a 6th rounder for him. And Claypool's the height, weight, speed guy. I get it. And the Bears are dysfunctional. But I think we know what's going on here based on this answer from Matt Eberflus. Asked, hey, why is he inactive? Why is he not there? Whatever. It comes down to this. When you're evaluating players in meetings, in practice, in walkthroughs, all those things, it's important that you evaluate the entire body of work, right? And we just feel right now Chase is going to be out of the building. It's best for our football team. That's not good. I read that, and maybe you guys read it differently. I read that as it's effort-based. He's become kind of a problem in the locker room. That's not a good thing for any NFL team. Now, the Bears entered this year going, man, we got DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool, Tyler Scott, who should be playing a lot more, by the way. They traded they drafted a 3rd-round pick in Velus Jones. They have EQ St. Brown. Now Claypool's out of there. It's not a good situation for Claypool, who has caught 18 of his 43 targets in Chicago for 191 yards, finally got a score, but has now been benched. That was the 32nd overall pick was given up for Chase Claypool. That's the type of pick you give up for someone who can play regardless if the quarterback's been elite or not, right? It's an all-time bad trade. Not the worst trade ever. There have been worse ones, but it's up there, man. Might be one of the worst ones in Bears history, at least. And I don't know if anyone really wants Chase Claypool. I get that there's the potential talent, right? But there's nothing Claypool's done in years now that should make you want him. Now, maybe a team will give a 5th or a 6th round pick or a 7th rounder, and the Bears cut their costs, and team tries out the lottery pick. But that is a very, very real red flag, and why I don't have much interest in him if I ran an NFL team somehow. So will the Bears trade Chase Claypool? Y for yes, N for no. It'll be today's pinned comment if the ad comes here on YouTube. Take advantage. Head down there and go vote. All right, some NFL injury news for you guys, and not much of it's positive. Dolphins offense tackle Teron Armstead will miss quote-unquote weeks, not days. After knee injury against the Bills, that's not great for Miami. They'll turn to some backups, hope they bounce back after a not great showing for the first time all year in Week 4. The Patriots now down perhaps their 2 best defensive players, maybe 2 of the top 3 if you want to put Kyle Duggar in there. Matthew Judon is going to miss at least 2 months. Christian Gonzalez is out indefinitely. Massive blows after a horrible loss in Week 4. The Deshaun Watson situation is also very interesting. Kevin Stefanski, Browns head coach, revealed that Watson had been medically cleared to play, but did not feel that he could play against the Ravens. And I don't know if that's just Stefanski being honest, like, hey, Deshaun knows his body, we trust him there. Or if he's like, yeah, Deshaun could have played, but it didn't want to. Maybe he needed some more massages. I don't know. It's just a unique, just an asterisk to keep an eye on for with Watson, given that he needs to play very, very well for the Browns to have success. As good as that defense is, they need him on offense. Kenny Pickett, meanwhile, has a bone bruise and a muscle strain in his knee. Now, Pickett has a chance to play this week. I think the bigger issue for Pittsburgh is probably offensive coordinator Matt Canada. But if Pickett can't go, it'll be Mitchell Trubisky at the helm this upcoming week. Takeaways from week 4 coming up next. They're all made possible by Prize Picks. My big takeaway, I did not hit my selection this week, but that's okay because I have a $100 deposit match because I used code CLNS over at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Prize Picks is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. It's the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and then hopefully watch the winnings roll in. My picks this week, I've got more than Lamar Jackson passing yards. That figure, by the way, seems suspiciously low. It's down there at 210.5. Jalen Waddle, more than 10.5 receiving yards. Justin Jefferson, just 1 touchdown. All I need. They're playing the Chiefs. They're going to have to throw it. I feel actually kind of pretty good about that one. Again, folks, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Links in the comments section and the description of today's show. Week 4 storyline number 1. We got to talk about Daniel Jones and the Giants, folks. We really do. I'll preface this by saying it is not all Daniel Jones' fault. The offensive line is injured. It's not playing well. But enter the area, better receiving core. They're going to be better. Daniel Jones has not been better, folks. He's actually lucky he's only lost 1 fumble. In theory, you'd guess your fumble loss rate is around 50%, right? 25% for DJ. He's making bad decisions. He's not seeing the field well. He's taking sacks too. His offensive line is bad, don't get me wrong. But sacks are at least in part a quarterback stat. And he's bailing on clean pockets. He's holding the ball too long when he knows the offensive line is bad. Daniel Jones does not look very good. Advanced metric here. EPA per play. This is expected points added. It's one of the better NFL advanced stats. Now, I will make note, it is at least a little bit an offensive stat. Like, if you throw the ball to the wide receiver and it bounces off their chest and it's picked off, which does happen, unfortunately, that's a negative play for Daniel Jones or whatever quarterback it would happen to. Sacks, they don't blame the offline. It goes against the quarterback there. So it is at least a little bit of an offensive stat, although DJ is a $40 million quarterback in charge of the offense. He's dead last in EPA per play. For reference of the number of plays that Daniel Jones has had this year, negative 44.5. That is the point value added from plays involving Daniel Jones. Not all his fault. It's not. The receivers can do better. Coaching can do better. Offensive line can do better. But negative 44.5 is a shocking figure. And it is a real problem. Like that pick 6 against Devin Witherspoon, like that's a good example of why I like EPA. It's not just, minus 3 points you lost. You gave him 6 too. At that puts like a minus 9, minus 10 EPA, because in theory you should be able to get points on that drive itself. That was on Daniel Jones. Hold on to the football when he gets sacked. Don't get fumbled. It's not a good quarterback group to be involved with right there so far. So is Daniel Jones the guy at quarterback for the Giants? This was the most obvious franchise tag decision in NFL history. Tag Daniel Jones, make him prove it. We would have said, at least you didn't commit to him when the offensive line is bad. Well, now you have, and that's scary. A for yes, B for no. Number 2 storyline. You saw Desmond Ritter on that list, right? Yeah, he ain't it either. The Falcons have, although it's a bad fantasy offense, the offense itself is actually pretty well designed, and there's talent. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. The O-line, especially when run blocking, is pretty darn good. There's Drake London. There's Kyle Pitts. Jonnu Smith had a rejuvenated season to a certain extent. Matt Collins is like the 5th option on the offense. It's actually pretty solid. But Desmond Ritter, at least for now, is holding back this offense. If the Falcons had Kirk Cousins, they'd be the NFC South favorites right now. I would argue by a pretty good margin. The Falcons have to see more from Ritter and soon, or it's probably time to give Taylor Heineke a shot, which is not a great idea, but that's where you're at. If you guys love daily NFL coverage, you've come to the right spot. Hit that sub button for more free videos each and every single day. It is time, my friends, to hit the panic button on the Cincinnati Bengals. Things, simply put, are not going well. And it's not just this, but Joe Burrow's bad right now. Joe Burrow, this is the worst he's probably ever been the past 6 years, even to some of his Ohio State days. Like, right now, Joe Burrow, the calf is a problem. The Bengals can't run under center stuff or they don't want to. He can't move in the pocket. And the things that made Burrow and the Bengals offense work, those minute pocket manipulations where he steps and slides and moves around and gets the ball out quick and can scramble, avoid, and buy some time. The easy buttons of the Bengals offense were Joe Burrow. And when Joe Burrow's not good, the Bengals offense collapses. But it's also the defense. The defense is bad right now. The Bengals are broken. They're 1-3. Their season is teetering on the edge. If it was just Burrow playing bad, okay. Higgins is hurt. He's had drops. The running game has not been utilized properly. I don't think Zach Taylor's called a great game. The defense can't stop the run. There's a lot of problems in Cincinnati. They can get it fixed. They did it last year. Man, they're kind of out of time. So what is your panic level over the Bengals? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. It's 1, of course, on the low end, 10 on the high end. Let's give some credit here to the Buffalo Bills. After all, no one circles the wagons quite like them. The Bills were bad in week 1. It was the ugly Josh Allen game. 4 turnovers in that game alone. Since then, 38-10 win over a bad Raiders team. 37-3 win over a maybe back-end playoff team in the Commanders. And a 48-20 win over the Miami Dolphins, who we were all very excited by. Bills are playing great football right now. Tip of the cap to them. Finally, I'm going to call out some other members of NFL media. There are people out there, fans too, but you're fans. It's fine. You get to be fanatics. That's what fan is short for. That are, for some reason, very bothered and upset by the attention being paid by the NFL to Taylor Swift. So, background, the NFL changed their bio on Twitter, I think Instagram too, to stuff involving Taylor Swift. And that got all the aggregators, all those losers like Dov, etc. They were Dov bros, I like to call them. They were all triggered online. Like, whoa, what are they? How dare they? Like, weird gatekeeping. Because apparently football isn't for the Swifties. It's fine. Who cares? Also, the NFL, for those of you that don't know, they change their bio all the time. After each game, every big primetime thing happens, they tend to change the bio to have some fun. Because social media is a marketing tool. That's all it is. The NFL is using a marketing tool for the biggest story right now. It's Taylor Swift. It's not a bad thing. Like the weird gatekeeping that's gone on does not make sense to me. You just ignore it. Literally, no one makes you click into the bio. You have to physically do that. It just blows my mind.